Well,
I'm breaking things and all kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm all right.
Okay, I am not physically able to sit up and talk very long. I wanted to touch base with you. I wanted to let you know I'm not ignoring you. I'm not blowing you off. I just powered up my device and I tried to see that text message that came in from you several days ago, whichever the last one was. And America's cyber terrorists, have remotely set the message to expire at 11:30 a.m. yesterday, so I cannot see it. I have been on the floor with my head shielded under an electric heating pad for the last 40 hours with extremely loud white noise frequencies around my head. My right eardrum is bursted and my left eardrum is extremely inflamed and I can hardly hear. I feel like I am on an airplane. I have felt like this since yesterday, while they are radiating and nuking my body with extra low frequencies. Now, what it is called, and I'm telling you this because they listen to everything I say and they're extremely paranoid and it scares them to death when anybody else knows. What it is called neutralization by health alteration under Title 51 signed by the United States President Donald J. Trump, who's going to swing from the end of a rope like his name is Saddam Hussein because I'm taking his fucking life on a terrorist treasonous charge on several of them because he's a child butt fucking, human crucifying, human flesh eating, human blood drinking Satanist like the rest of these Satans in Washington and that make up the American population minus about 200 of us actual pure-blooded, pure genetic DNA beings, okay? This is a nation of fucking animal hybrids. So I had been on the phone with UN Mission of Foreign Affairs several times yesterday, dumping more highly classified intel on Americans with the intent to get them killed and kidnapped to conceal and protect their own crimes of terrorism and human trafficking. And it wasn't till this morning when I directly placed the blame on Donald Trump. Within 5 minutes, they lowered the frequencies. They thought they were going to fool me, but anyways, my head finally stopped bursting wide open, okay, for the first time in 40 hours. But I could still hear the white noise frequencies that were significantly lowered in volume, okay, while they thought they were going to just turn it down and make it unnoticeable while they slowly alter my health. Now, what they're doing is America's Department of Defense, pharmaceutical industry contracted, engineered vaccine and blood donor programs that go back 80 years. These are bioweapons, okay, by the Department of Justice, in which started with the polio vaccine with the intent to assassinate Castro. And they figured out that they can activate cancer with these pharmaceutical engineered monkey diseases that they are injecting into everybody, that they can activate cancer with radiation. And that is what all these 5G weaponized towers and everything are. And all these Gwen towers and all these cell towers. And that is why the Department of Defense literally owns all cell phone companies here in America. And your cell phone is a classified non-lethal weapon by NASA. And but I don't have the monkey diseases in my body that Americans have. Okay, I'm a pure-blooded, prime genetic being. Okay, I don't have America's monkey diseases, and there is nothing to activate. And so while they lay there desperately trying to these stupid, dumb Americans behind their DARPA military supercomputers, while they lay there, they sit there and they torture me for days on end, trying to activate pathogens that I don't have in my body. Because I'm not one of these disgusting Neanderthals that rolls up my sleeve and gets injected with a bioweapon. Okay, I am medical science and pharmaceutical research with international intelligence, most specifically Germany and Israel. I know what the monkey diseases are, okay? And so that has been my situation. And I'm on a warpath mission, and you better believe there's going to be much blood flowing through the states of through the streets of America. Okay, I'm on a warpath, bloodthirsty mission, and the point of this call was, for one, to let somebody else know that they're trying to murder me right here in cold blood while they keep me isolated and restricted from the outside world, and nobody knows it. And for two, I wanted to let you know it's not anything personal. I have not been ignoring you. I have not been blowing you off. I've been hanging on to the edge of my life while on the front lines of this war, trying to destroy every single American life and every single American child's life that I can in retaliation.
Look here, you know I love you, right?
I know that. And that's why we're having this conversation.
Okay, that's why I listened the whole time and didn't speak a word. I believe every word you say.
I know you do, because I know you do for no other reason than who you are.
Guess what? I told you I love you. Me and you are the same, just different form.
We are both ancient, pure-blooded, prime genetic DNA beings that go back to the beginning of this. Okay, we are just two totally different beings.
And here's the other deal. I'll never meet another you.
And I'll never meet another you either.
Exactly, my friend.
And I do appreciate you. You are a huge form of support, and you are a very valuable friend. And that's why I'm really not able to sit here and have this conversation.
Okay,
but
whenever you're done talking, I'm just letting you talk until you're done now.
Okay, you go ahead. I'm done.
No, I don't have to talk at all. I love listening to an intelligent creature. It never happens.
Well, I'm done. You have the floor. You have the floor.
Yes, honey. I was trying to bring you a couple meals. I'm not big on the phone, but I just was trying to bring you some meals.
Well, I am very hungry. I have not had a decent meal in several days. I am basically, I'm living off of God's best foods. I have been living off of the ginger water, extreme amounts of honey, and pickled cabbage that I pickled myself. Okay, and this is the best foods. Okay, this is the best food and medicine to feed the cells, but at the same time, I'm still human with a human nature, and my stomach feels empty, and I have not tasted. I just I hate to be like like my ancestors, the Hebrew children in the wilderness, who complained when God sent them the best foods of birds and manna. But I wish to have birds right now. I wish birds and manna would drop from the sky. I wish.
I just did. I got you. You want me to come? I'll be over there as soon as I pack it up. I got you. You hear me?
Okay, I'm going to turn my ringer up.
Okay.
So when you get kind of close, like when you get to the corner of like Cortland and Monica, if you could call me, that way I can come out and meet you, and you won't be standing there waiting. Because this is a weird situation here. Everybody in this.
I want to do just like you do when you go in the bathroom. Drop it and go.
Listen, my friend, everybody in this household except for me is a contracted role player, and they all have mental illness, okay? I'm the only one here that's not mentally ill. So, you know what it's like living with a house full of mentally ill people, especially when they're contracted to role play against you for a human trafficking operation in a Scientology cult housing. Well, that means, if you could just call me and I could quietly meet you out front would be best.
I'm going to drop and go because I understand all your situations and even the ones that you believe. Well, me and you are deep believers and faithful people. No one other than you will tell me what you just told me. And you know this, and I don't have to repeat this, but I love you, and I'm bringing you something to eat. So I had everything you like, but I'm gonna bring you one meal now, and then I'll bring you another one, maybe today too.
Let me ask you this: do you, by any chance, have a lemon?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, but I'm going out for stuff today, so I'll see you like in an hour or something like that, something short.
Okay.
Because I'm on my way out the door.
Okay, I'm going to turn my ringer.
And the other plan was that I wanted to feed you. I know that's wrong. Well, guess what? You're talking about man from heaven. I wanted to feed you, and somebody wanted to feed me. So I asked heaven for something, and I got it yesterday. So now you call, so you're the other thing I'm supposed to get. You hear me? I get you.
I know that, and you truly are a blessing in my life, and I appreciate you. I'm going to turn my ringer up so I don't miss your call.
All right, now.
Okay.
It'll be short time.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye. That's the name of this game in the United States of America, up against America's kidnapping, human child organ sex, and satanic occult ritual sacrifice, trafficking, murder, international and domestic terrorism, with Patriot Act ticket $30,000 tickets on people's head. Okay, that's the name of the game. The Americans are extremely paranoid. Okay, everything they do is under extreme gross secrecy, and they are extremely paranoid as the deceitful, lying, secretive Satans that they are. And, and they count on nobody knowing, and they further count on dumb America not believing what they're too ignorant and too arrogant to believe, which is what makes them narcissistically gaslight and victim shame, and which gives me the power and control that I have over them, which is why I deliberately and intentionally set them up by telling them everything that I know that they are too ignorant and arrogant to believe, although they themselves are recruited as operatives and role players against me as unknowing sacrificial pawns who have to sign NDAs not to look at Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media so that they won't know what's going on while they sacrifice their life trying to traffic and kill me. Okay? Just so while I am tipped off every step of the way before I even meet them, most I like Jeanette Diamond. Okay? Before I even meet them, just so I can pull their fucking mask off to their face, because I do have the power and protection that nobody else in this fucking country, and probably this fucking whole entire fucking globe has, okay? I fully exercise the power, protection, authority, and control invested in me by my Creator, who sent me here in this human body as the soul that I am at this place and this time for no other reason than to worship my Creator and to carry out His will on this earth, to bring down His wrath on you disgusting, trifling, fat, lazy, diseased, vaccine damaged, targeting, kidnapping, human child, sex, organ, and satanic occult ritual sacrifice, trafficking, murdering, international domestic terrorist, and America's 338 million tax-paying, voting funders and enablers who love to spin that around and shift their blame on the government and play the poor victim role. And that's not going to happen this time, because America's general public of 338 million voting taxpayers are not the poor innocent victims, and they are not going to get to play that role, and they are not going to shift the blame on their government, who they themselves empower, fund, and put in a place of power, while they protect and conceal America's crimes that pay for their cheap, shiny, shitty, plastic, corporate, fucking commercialized American dream, okay, that Satan has sold them. Okay, anybody with any kind of a human intellect, which only 200 of us in America have, okay, and that's real, and that's valid, and that's legit. There are only 200, put it this way, globally there's only 7, but according to the statistics, which are probably a little bit higher on paper than what they actually are, okay, globally, us O-negative, pure-blooded bloodlines, we only make up 7% of the global population, okay? Here in the United States of America, there's only 200 of us O-negatives who are also pure genetic DNA inheritors of our very ancient original bloodlines of the tribes of Israel, the true tribes, the real Semite Hebrew tribes, which are not today's, who are known as the AB negative Ashkenazis and the A negative canine blooded entities, okay, who think they, that's why they've established all these Yahweh cults. Me, my father, my youngest daughter, and my father's brother, Ellis Payton, at the Vatican, at the General Society of Jesus Christ of the Jesuit Order, we are the last 4 known living at this time on this earth of our pure-blooded, prime genetic DNA, prophetic bloodline, that we are the true living modern day, full-blooded, prime genetic DNA tribe of Judah that is hidden and persecuted. And among the other tribes in America, there are only 200 total, according to the CIA DNA database, that only 300 people worldwide, which is us, have access to. There's only 200 pure-blooded, that would be the O-negatives, that have, okay, because there's O-negatives that don't have prime genetic DNA, okay, they have recessive genes, okay, well, there's only 200 of us that do have our pure-blooded prime genetic DNA without the recessive genes, okay, and that's what this is about. There's only 200 of us here in America that have a human intellect, because the rest of you are fucking hybrids, and it doesn't matter which side of hibernation that you fall on. It doesn't matter if you fall, it's categories by 50-50, okay? If you are 50% or more human, you fall on the human side. Those would be the A+, the B+, and the AB+, and the O+, okay? If you tilt it over to the other way, okay, by the 3rd and 4th generation, it starts getting down, actually by about the 4th generation, it starts to dip below that 50% human hybridization, okay, to where the human now becomes like less than 50% human, and like, for example, an example would be Victoria White, who's 60% non-human and 40% human, okay? So she's considered a non-human hybrid, okay? This is how it works, and this is why God curses people into their 4th generation, which by then is the end of their bloodline. And that's what I am cursing America under. I am cursing you, America. into your fourth generation, okay? Because that's what that's what everything in America and Western Europe out of the Vatican is about. It is about the next generation. All you fucking recruits and agents and all you swine-eating pigs, okay? The reason why you've been recruited into the CIA and stuff, okay, it's not just all about you, but a lot of you are recruited because of your children and or your grandchildren. Okay, that is how they slither themselves into your bloodlines, okay? And it's all about engineering the next generation. And America's next generation will never ever have a chance in life, okay? They're going to spend however long their lifespans can support their lifestyle that I am goddamning them to. They are going to spend every day suffering poverty, hardship, starvation, and exploitation. Okay, they're going to be orphaned bastards because all of you swine-eating pigs, all of you fucking federal agents, all of you CIA, Israeli Mossad, German KSA, okay, you're all fourth-rate Nazis, and this is the fall of the fourth-rate Nazi regime, okay? And it doesn't matter if you think you're not a human trafficker. It doesn't matter if you think you're not a terrorist. It doesn't matter if you think you never signed a kidnap contract in your fucking life for your fucking job, okay? You've kept your mouth shut and you've gone along with it because you're certainly not going to lose your job to save somebody else's life by doing the right thing, okay? So you are the problem. You are not the solution. You are affiliated and part of a terrorist organization, okay? And you are a Nazi, and you know how it goes, okay? There is no good side, okay? There's two sides of a cover-up here, okay? That's it. Okay, there is no right side. I am the right side, me, myself, and I, and nobody is on a right side with me. You're all on the wrong side. And for all you disgusting Americans who thought you were going to jump sides, okay, and halfway through the game and get on the winning side for no other reason than to try to save yourselves and your family, forget about it. It's not going to happen, okay? You might as well clock out and go home and enjoy however long you have to live, okay, rather than sit there and sacrifice your life trying to pretend like, you know, you're there to do the right thing when you're not. If you were, you'd have done this 30, 20, 10, 15 years ago, okay, depending on how old you are and how long you have been in the position that you are in, but you didn't, and many of you came in here on the wrong side that you're going out in execution on, okay, and it wasn't until just 2 years ago in February 2022 when you began to realize you're on the losing side and you're going down and your family and your children are that your family and your children are going down with you, okay, that you decided to jump on the other side of the fence where you thought the grass was greener and do the right fucking thing, okay, and think you're going to get a reward for it at the end. No, you don't get a reward for doing the right thing, okay, that's an obligation, okay, you were born obligated to do the right thing. You are not only obligated under God's law to do the right thing, but you are obligated under international law, and you are obligated under federal law, and you know, and you are obligated under your job that you get paid to do, okay? So the public is supposed to think, but you're going to do that job that you're paid to do, and you're going to sacrifice your life doing it, and then you're all going to die in execution as the terrorist that you are at the end of this. So if I were you, swine-eating pigs and federal agents of America, trying to save myself on the right side, I would just say fuck it. I would say, fuck it right motherfucking now, and I would punch out. I would take off that fucking Luciferian Freemasonic uniform, and I would go home, and I would spend how many ever last days, weeks, or months that I have to spend with my children and my family, okay? So you sit there and you continue to sacrifice your life as Satans that you fucking are, okay, if you want to, but it's 50 years too late, okay? The time to do the right thing was 50 years ago, 1970, okay? You dropped that ball, America. Instead, you sold yourself to Satan for a dream, okay? You got deceived and you got tricked, okay? Anybody with a human intellect, which most of you don't have, knows that dreams are not real. They are an illusion, and all dreams come to an end. And just like all dreams come to an end, so too shall all nations fall. Okay, and this is your fall, America. This is the end of your American dream, and this is your fall, and this is the first and final fall of the Nazi regime. And at the expense of your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren, who, for most of you, will never, ever be born, okay? So, this is Global Missing Persons Alert, Interpol Yellow Notice Number 21-22733. And when you motherfuckers see me out on the street, you better duck. You better duck. You better duck like my name is motherfucking Sibo, the bald head nut, okay? When you see me coming, because you better believe I got both a body cam on, and I'm operating from about 6 different devices here, okay? And you will be exposed, and you will be exploited, and you will be put on a government watch list, and you will be targeted and retaliated by your own government as the threat to national security and their terrorist operations that I am going to make sure that the whole world knows that you are, okay? So when you see me, America, when you see me coming down the street, when you see me at that Jason Hardgrove Transit Center at 8 Mile and Woodward, you better clear the motherfucking deck of your FEMA contracted role players, your homeless posing role players out there drinking, hitting the bottle, smoking fucking dope, okay, huffing paint with fucking paint on their face and everything, with their stage role playing props in the form of Myers shopping buggies stacked with everything, including the kitchen sink, while they sit there up against the electrical sockets with their phones in the charger and their earphones on, role playing like the homeless fucking disgusting filth that I'm going to turn them into, okay? So when you see me coming, America, you better duck and play me. I'm going to be running an operation against you Americans all day long. All day long. I got a list of you. Okay, if you see my phone number pop up in your caller ID, you better not answer the phone. Have a good day. And that your family